so much, listeners, for joining us. Today's Elko Live here on KELK, as we do on Tuesdays, is a focus on city news and issues. And today we're so pleased to feature in studio our guest, Annette Robinson. She is our Elko City Clerk. Annette, it is always a pleasure to sit across from you. You bring us so much information, and you do so much, you and your staff do so much hard work behind the scenes.
Thank you, Lori, for having me here. Yeah, we do a lot in the clerk's office, way more than I expected when I took on that position. But it's been a learning experience, so I've enjoyed it a lot, and my staff is great. So I enjoy that. Some information that I have. This is an election year, so this year we have the mayor and 2 city council members positions going to be open. And candidate filing actually starts March 2nd and ends on March 13th. So starting at 8 a.m. on March 2nd and ends on March 13th, a Friday, at 5 p.m. We have to submit everything to the state. So candidates that are eligible, so qualifications, you need to be a bona fide resident of the city for at least 2 years before the election. And so actually, as long as it's a candidate by November 3rd, because election is November 3rd this year, so, and then they have to be a qualified elector within the city limits, so.
You know, Annette, we do get questions every year, and so you're the perfect person to ask. People say, well, I have an address, I have a house, or I have a business in the city of Elko, but what are the rules about that?
They have to live, their residence has to be in the city limits. Can't be a post office box, it has to be a physical address.
Right, and you can't be a resident of Spring Creek and say have a business in Elko. And this has actually been challenged before, so just in case people are thinking, well, somebody ought to challenge that, but it has been upheld. It's part of our city charter.
It's correct, it is, and it's right there. It's on our website at elkocity.com. You can go to our website, and all that information is in our charter and in city code both, so that information is readily available.
Sounds great.
So if they do come and file, we actually are getting a laptop set up for candidates so they can actually come into our office and fill out the state's website. And I won't discuss that website. It's a very long address.
Yeah, you can just go to NVSOS.
Yeah.
And then
it'll you'll just go to candidate filing. Now, like I said, since this isn't available, the only thing that's on there right now would be judicial. So candidates, this won't be ready until the March 2nd, so they can go on. Once they come in, it's a $50 fee, and that's paid to the city of Elko, and it can be either cash, cashier's check, or a certified check. These terms are each 4 years, and they'll be sworn in once we have to verify that they're an actual resident of Elko. We'll verify that. We'll swear them in so that they can be put on the official ballot.
Okay, so that is the official process. And again, just reminding listeners, this is for the city council. The mayor's position is termed out, so Mayor Reese Keener will be released and able to enjoy his life in retirement with his beautiful wife, Tammy, and they've put in, both of them have given so much to the community. There are 2 council seats, Chip Stone and Giovanni Puccinelli, and both of those gentlemen may seek re-election. They are not termed out.
They are not termed out, that's correct. So
yes.
They are both eligible still.
So, Annette, these are also at-large seats, right? We should explain what that means.
Why don't you explain that?
We could together, yes. It means everybody votes.
Yes.
Yeah. That's not by district or
right.
Yeah.
No, it's all within the city limits. So.
Yes. So that means, for example, county commissioners, they run from a district even though everybody elects them.
Correct.
Yes.
So, but there is no districts within the city limit.
Cool.
So.
Something else that's kind of cool, especially when you're dealing with city issues like water and sewer and police and fire and all the other many things, waste management, all the things that the city of Elko deals with, it's nonpartisan.
Correct.
Yes.
So
you don't have to,
you don't
be
have
concerned.
to, you don't have to list your affiliation whatsoever. So.
You do need to be a registered voter, though.
You do.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
Elector within the city limits too. So you can't be out in the county and
Yep. So if you're considering leadership in the city of Elko, our guest today is Annette Robinson. She is our Elko city clerk, and she has the rundown. And if she doesn't have the information, you will get it.
I will find it, definitely. I will scour everything to look for it.
And you have done that very often and very well and conducted yourself professionally, because you never know. Sometimes things come up. Yeah. We have vast archives, don't we?
We have vast archives. So part of our job is records retention and record management within the city. So all documents come through the clerk's office for the entire city. That is a big job in itself. And so, record retention, so the Nevada State Library and Archives, they have a retention schedule, and we need to follow that. So not all documents are always kept. And so lately it's been astronomical in the public records requests. So all public records requests come through me for the city.
That's amazing. You've had a huge uptick in requests.
Yeah, it's been crazy.
Anything in particular in that?
I just think it's the law that the public records. So we get so much. It's just like data mining to me, right? So
yeah, and people should be able to get their own information online. I mean, there are archives and some data.
Yeah, and
available.
our website has a lot of this information on it. We are very transparent in our records, so we try to post, everything on the website, but we still get so much stuff.
Yeah, just the city council packets every week are huge. Warrants are attached, which means those are usually just bills that are paid or to be paid.
Yeah, that's correct. Those are pages upon pages, and we publish all those. Mm-hmm. So they're all there. The other things that we do is business licensing, and I always want to remind people that are interested in having a business within the city limits, they need to get a city business license. On top of that, they'll need to have their state license, and possibly they'll need to have their sales and use tax permit. So those are some things that people need to be aware of.
Some people think that if you're running a home business, like you're doing house cleaning or you're baking cookies or, right, anywhere in the city or county.
If you're in the city and you're selling within the city, you need to have a city business license. It's any enterprise, trade, occupation, and that you're conducting within the city limits, you do need to have a business license. And yes, a lot of home-based businesses don't realize that. Some other things that people don't realize is like all the food vendors that are just pop-ups that selling the fruit along the streets. That is illegal. You need to have a temporary merchant permit, and our clerk's office, Sarah, our business license specialist, she's great. She can help you with that. And her number is 775-777-7138. So she can help you with business licensing and any special events or, like I said, temporary merchants. We have solicitors, any of that kind of stuff. So door-to-door people, if they don't have their permit, they shouldn't be going door-to-door. And people don't realize that. I get lots of calls about, I had somebody come, and if they haven't registered, they should show they have an actual permit that they get, and it's registered through the police department. And if they're coming from door to door, so
yeah. And if anybody listening might be curious about that, it's all about safety, liability, paying taxes, that kind of thing. It's for your own security. I mean, I want to know who's walking up to my door, and so like I said, the police department gets involved in that, and they check to make sure that these people
are who they say they are. And
Yep, it's all for
It's
good
safety,
reason. Yeah,
yes, right?
exactly. We're talking with our city clerk, Annette Robinson, today, and that's just kind of an overview of the business license division. But you have a huge list of things that your office, your department does.
We do a lot of things. Cemetery plots for the city, yes. Our city cemetery, we do sell those in our department. We are also in charge of our transient lodging tax.
Oh, that's right.
So, and that's a big thing right now. So,
In fact, the mayor asked during a recent city council meeting, media, if you're listening, and so we're just repeating what the mayor said. But the Shiloh Inn is in arrears, and they're kind of back to their old ways, I think, as you described.
that's what I described. Yes, they
Yes.
are. And it's unfortunate, but yes, they are. I'm on top of that. So,
Thank you.
yeah, once they're not paid with 70 days, what we do is we file for a suspension of their business license, and that process will actually be starting at the end of this week because their 70 days will be up. So yeah, it's a big deal.
Yeah, it's they're in arrears in room taxes, right?
Right.
Okay.
It's called transient lodging tax. We changed it to that. But yeah, if everybody remembers that as room tax, that's what that is. And that's just a pass-through tax. It's not their money. They're collecting it from their patrons, visiting their facilities, and then it's passed on to the city, who then passes it on to other entities, such as the Western Folklife Center and the Elko Convention Center, the Elko County Rec Board, our parks, rec, and
It's a source of revenue.
it's a source of revenue for all our entities that are actually bringing people into Elko to, use our facilities. So, the fairgrounds, everything like that. So, and people don't realize that. And I even get complaints, from people like, oh, our room tax, transient lodging tax is so high because the hotels are telling these people
that they're right.
well, that's the city's taking it. Well, the city's not taking that money. We're passing it on so that, we can keep other entities operating. So we can have the cowboy poetry that's going to be coming here at the end of the month, and, for our fair in the fall. So, all those things are heads in beds, right?
Well, that's right. That's right. And of course, Annette Robinson, being our city clerk, she is an employee and is directed by the council. And so any of this discussion that we have about, ordinances, or if people have beefs, they need to take them up with the council, not with the city clerk or any of your staff. You're enforcing the ordinances.
We are enforcing, yes.
Yes.
Those ordinances are our city code. But, they can still come to me and request information, and I can direct them or give them that information. And if there's concerns, we can always put it on an agenda item on the city council.
We do know that I think your office might be involved too in the Elko Inn. I think the city planning department is also working. There are a lot of wheels in motion behind the scenes, right, Annette?
There is definitely stuff going on there, yes. I know they're still having meetings about it, but
Yeah, we don't. Yeah,
yeah,
the deadlines have passed.
well, and they paid, their
Oh, so that's
property.
why it's still sitting there vacant.
yeah, so they
Oh.
paid up their property tax. So that was
That's a disappointment. We were going to do something with that place. Yeah. Yeah. So at least there's some news on it. Yeah.
yeah. So that's been paid, but there's other avenues. I think that
Yeah.
other places are looking. We could just hope that they would just sell the property, right, to somebody
Right.
that really wants to do something with it, and
Yeah.
make it a new nice hotel again. And
Invest in the community and then start
Yes.
generating more room taxes if perhaps that were the goal. So, yeah.
that would be helpful.
Yes. Yeah. It's all part of the grand picture. And everybody kind of pays their fair share. And that's the goal anyway. So
That definitely is. And then the other issue with that is Airbnbs and Verbo. they need to be paying their transient lodging tax also. And that's been a struggle because they don't realize that, they need a business license, and yes, they, need to pay their fair share of what they're renting out. Because that's short-term rentals, and that's what hotels are. So, and it's not fair to the hotels, all these Airbnbs that are popping up. So,
right, there are a lot of older homes in the tree streets that are being converted to that use, and that there is a lot more conversation because I think people are more aware of it. Because also the national conversation, and even in Nevada, with corporations buying homes for rentals.
Right, and then the average person can't buy a home because there's nothing to afford because they're all being rented out, and it's kind of sad.
Well, and the rent, I don't know if as many people would have as much concern, but the rent is exorbitant. I can say from my experience, there's a house in my neighborhood. The month-to-month rent on that is $2,300 a month, and it is a 3-bedroom, 2-bath. And the only way that some people can afford to rent a home like that is to pack a bunch of people in, and that's not fair to the neighborhood.
No, that's not.
So that's not, we don't live in apartment complexes. We didn't buy our homes to live surrounded by, a bunch of cars and people coming and going all the time. So
right, because there's city ordinances about how many cars can be, at a residence too. So there's a lot of moving parts there.
Yeah, so it's going to take some time, but these might be some questions to ask your candidates, people who are seeking office, whether or not it's an issue in your neighborhood or just something you're learning about. But there are plenty of other issues, and I'm sure people will be happy to chime in on.
Always.
City Clerk Annette Robinson is our guest today, and we appreciate the chance to have a conversation. Other things on your list today?
I just want to remind people about our dog and cat fancier permits. It's that time of year. So if you have more than six dogs or 6 cats, you need to have a fancier's permit.
And you need to have a lot of things for 6 dogs. Really, in the city, that's permitted?
It is if you get the fancier's permit. That's,
okay.
So a fancier's permit, so what the code is, it's you can have, no person shall keep more than 3 dogs or 3 cats over 4 months of age at any place or any premises or in any one residence located within the city. So a fancier's permit allows you to have up to 6 dogs or 6 cats. It's $125 a year. It's a yearly permit that allows those. And of course, animal control goes and inspects the home to make sure that animals are being taken care of properly. There's enough space for those animals, that kind of stuff. And then if they sign off on it, then we can issue this permit so that they can have the more than the 3 dogs.
And it is a combination. It's not 3 dogs and a cat or 3 cats and a dog. It's just a combination of 3 animals, right?
No.
Okay. So you can have, not the fancier permit, I'm sorry. Going back
to the 3 dogs, you can have either or. You can have 3 dogs and 3 cats.
In the city?
In the city.
Without a fancier permit?
Correct.
I was always under the impression it was 3 total.
Yeah, I was too. Until my son, who had worked through animal control, was explaining no.
Okay. But if you have more than 6 animals total, that's the fancier permit. It kicks in.
Yeah, that kicks
in. Well, thanks for letting me know. All these years I was thinking, that's not a message to any strays to come to my door, okay? Because 2 is what I have, so, yes.
And then there's a special use permit, and we did get one last year, and you can have up to 8 dogs or 10 cats, and it's more for like a breeder, right?
Sure, yeah.
So they're having multiple animals. We don't have an actual breeder's permit, so that's what we kind of use, this special use permit.
And that makes sense, yeah. Okay. And then they do, as you said, they'll do an inspection just to make sure it's sanitary.
It's not causing disturbances with your neighbors, that kind of stuff. So, if you have 6 dogs out there barking all day long, that is a nuisance.
Yes, unfortunately. We get to deal with all the fun stuff today, Annette. Right. So, but at least it's important for neighbors to know that they do have, some recourse if they do have concerns or questions.
Yes, and they can definitely, like I said, they can contact me. My email is cityclerk@elkocitynv.gov. My phone number is 775-777-7126. So they can definitely, or they can come down to City Hall and visit with me.
Yeah, you're right there. I think you're right there in the front office, right?
Actually, I'm in the back, but my staff are in the front office, so they'll come and get me.
Oh, good, Annette. That's great. Yeah, you're super easy to find, to talk to, very accessible, and as you said, transparent too at City Hall. Thank you. You've got some other things on your list. Or are we getting down to that?
I think we're getting down to it. Other things that our department takes care of is our bidding process and prevailing wages for all of our public works projects. So, spring's coming here, so we'll be starting new projects, so that'll be a good thing.
Yeah, that's always exciting.
Yeah.
Prevailing wage applies to public projects, right, Annette?
Public projects, yeah.
Yes,
so
yes.
all public entities have to follow Nevada's prevailing wage, so that's a requirement.
Okay, so if you have questions about that, we also have a very active building department, and that while it's not in your purview directly, you certainly collaborate with them all the time.
I actually work with all of our departments throughout the city, so yes.
Well, yeah, record keeping everything, right?
Record keeping, all the public records requests, so then I'm reaching out to them to get their records that we need to get, to send out.
You're like the octopus with 8 arms.
Yeah. I wished I had 8 arms.
I am sure you do most days. Wow, it is really impressive, Annette. And the position of city clerk has always been one that's held, in respect, because people realize how much integrity you have to have. The vast experience you have in the community and in other roles, I think, really lends to this position as well.
Definitely. I've had a lot of experience. I've lived here for actually it's going to be 45 years this year.
Congratulations.
So,
yeah. I think
Thanks.
you and I are on the same track.
Right? So, yeah, it's been a long time. I love the city of Elko, so I want to see it grow and expand, but I want all the rules to be followed.
And that's the kind of person you need to have in the city clerk's office. And again, anybody listening, people don't like rules when they apply to them, if they apply to something else that they don't like. But reach out, talk to the city clerk, talk to the staff members, talk to your representatives on the council or the mayor, because sometimes there's just a misunderstanding. Sometimes you just don't have all the facts.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely look for all the facts, right? And I'm always searching for stuff. I get a request or a question, and I'm like, I didn't know anything about that.
Exactly.
I didn't realize that we are sister city with, I can't even say it, Uzbekistan?
Oh.
I didn't know that.
Uzbekistan? Oh, wow. I did not realize. So what do we get to do as a sister city?
I don't know, but I'm going to be looking into that. Right?
You better find out. And we're also a tree city, USA. That's pretty cool. Yeah. Maybe you didn't know that. I think.
I've heard that.
Okay,
yeah.
and that's
and,
okay.
We're like the best small town in America,
yeah.
right?
We still have that designation. Okay.
Yeah. So, Elko's great.
Elko is great. We have a lot to look forward to. And again, as we started off our conversation with Annette Robinson, there is going to be an election this year. So we've been talking about the city clerk, the city election. Did we get to everything on that list, though?
Yes, I think we did.
Okay, good. So if people are interested in county offices, because that's different, Annette, but you do work closely with the county clerk's office.
Yes, so I definitely work, because our elections, our candidates will be on the ballot that's actually put out by the Elko County. So yes, we definitely have to work. I have to put in my time, too, during early voting, and so we work on the election day, so yeah.
Well, we appreciate that. So Becky Plunkett is our county clerk, and she's looking for volunteers, I think, or poll workers. I think there is a stipend that goes with that, but there's a lot of training So people
Yeah.
need to step up. Any changes that you're aware of this year, Annette? We do know that the city changed its charter. That had to be approved legislatively. And so these city elections align with the county elections, like you just described, will be on the ballot. It gets for a much better turnout. And so it kind of forces the candidates to get out there and beat the street and talk about the issues.
Yeah, so we're not during the primary, so this election's only for the general election.
In November.
In November, so November 3rd this year. And then, so like counties, they're on the primary and then in the general, but we are only on the general election. But like I said, candidate filing is all now coming in March, so.
Yeah, don't be surprised.
So you need to do it now when thinking that you're going to be on later. It's not going to happen. So it's a 2-week window. So it's.
Yeah, judicial filing's already closed.
It's already closed, yeah.
Yeah.
It was in January,
Yeah.
so, yeah.
You know, and I didn't check back, and I meant to, but I don't. Early on in the process, all of our incumbent judges filed for re-election, and I do not know if anyone ended up with any opposition. So I don't know.
Yeah,
You
I
hadn't
don't
heard
know.
either.
I haven't heard either,
Yeah,
so no.
Yep. So, but we can follow up on that. But obviously, if you're interested in city races, the mayor's position, Mayor Reese Keener's termed out. Chip Stone, Giovanni Puccinelli are the council members representing the 2 seats of which they have both served 4-year terms. They are both eligible for re-election. We'll hear more about that, I'm sure, from them in the coming weeks.
In the coming weeks, yeah, I'm sure. And then we will reach out when all the candidates have filed, and we'll let everybody know about and we'll get that on the ballot.
So, Annette, because there will be questions about mail-in ballots, and there always are. Is there going to be a drop-off box at City Hall this year?
Yes, there will be. There always is, yes.
Good.
So we are for early voting only, because then the day of election, there will be mail ballot boxes at the polling place, too.
Yes, and I'm one of those people that I just like the feeling. It feels like participating in democracy, so I like to vote in person. Personally, I appreciate that people have options to do it because there are all kinds of reasons why you might not make it to the ballot box. But early voting is huge. You vote in person and during early voting as well. Mail-in might be a little difficult this year.
And it might, yes. Because the mail changed their
postmark, right?
Yes, so just so people are aware, if you want it postmarked on the day of election, you actually have to physically go inside and have it postmarked. If you put it in the box, it's not going to get postmarked here. It's all going to actually be shipped from here to Salt Lake, where it'll get postmarked the next day, since they're only doing one pickup a day now. So
wow, Annette. So yeah, don't be disappointed. Go in and, well, my favorite postmistress is Gina downtown. So I always pop in and she mails all my packages and everything. So, but go hand carry it if that's what you're doing and get it postmarked the day of so that you don't risk that it's not counted because things are tightening up, things are changing. Just make sure that you are counted.
Yeah, we went to our national conference for elections in September, and that was a huge issue because the postmaster was at our conference and they got an earful.
Oh, I bet.
Because, I mean, did they even really put it out there? That was crazy. So
I know, and Reno gets upset every few years when this is the attempt in Reno to switch their processing center to Sacramento, obviously out of state. So, but we try to we stick our hands in the air and say, here in Elko, we have been putting our mail in the box in front of the post office, and it gets put in a truck and sent to Salt Lake.
Which is ridiculous.
It is ridiculous. How could that save money? How could it save money?
It can't. I don't know how that.
But we've been doing that for years.
Yes, definitely. But now it used to be pick up twice, and now it's only going to be once, and they're not postmarking stuff here unless you physically go in and request it.
Wow. So lots of reasons to stay alert and to be involved, and you don't have to get grumpy or huffy. You just need to be involved so that if there are changes needed, then you can help to assert those changes. But yeah, social media is not going to help change anything. So
go out and vote.
Yes. Well, and Annette, I wanted to thank you too, because And it's no coincidence that you used to be a librarian because county clerks and city clerks and clerks by nature, you're about fairness and access and transparency and equity. I mean, there's so many great things about our democracy, and you're here to attest to that.
Yes, I am. Thank you so much for everything. Yeah, being a librarian definitely prepared me for this. So yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Because I love to read, and there's a lot of code to read. And
yes, and code. Well, I'm kind of one of those nerds too. I like reading the council agenda. I like reading the packets and getting all the information. And so I'm kind of disappointed if a representative comes in and they haven't read their packet. And I think, are you kidding? Because everything's right there, right? And
yeah, and we have to post that 3 days prior. So that's part of our jobs too in the clerk's office, that we take care of agendas and minutes. So those are done in our office. So yeah.
Yeah, and then we have city attorneys. That office, well, their contract through, we don't have an in-house city attorney, but they make sure that we're observing all the laws, the open meeting laws, for example, right? Ethics, any ethics concerns.
Yep.
Yeah. So, and it seems like smooth sailing. And to be honest, I've been doing this for so long, Annette, that people think, oh, this, Elko's just a sleepy little town. We've had our things, things pop up, and we need to make sure we're aware and we're involved and that we hold people accountable, because it's not always just small town Elko. So, yeah.
Right.
We're watching you guys. We're doing our best. So, but we do need, the public and the community's help. So, really, thank you. Yeah.
You're welcome, and thank you for having me here. And I'm here for the public, and so definitely can give me a call or email me. My other staff, like Nicole, her number is 775-777-7127. She's actually the one who does our minutes, and she also's over the cemetery information and all that stuff. So, and of course our website, we're trying to keep that updated, and all this information about the election here, we will be putting that on our website. It should have been posted in the newspaper today, so we're off and running for the new year.
Annette, thank you so much. Off and running, and with your help and support in that of your staff. And again, thank you for everything that you bring to the office of City Clerk.
Well, thank you.
Thank you, listeners, for joining us. We appreciate your time here on Elko Live on KELK. The council will meet next in regular session, I believe, next Tuesday.
Next Tuesday, yes.
So we'll get you up to date on that agenda as soon as it's posted. And thanks again for listening.